In the latest days, there was a recent Kemono Friends event in Japan that unveiled new designs for some characters, alongside some lore details. This was a no photography allowed event, so none of these have any real proof, but the details were released online by some Japanese fans who have been known for attending the events. However, the information they have released is as surprising as it is stupid. Instead of improving the panorama of this second season by trying to fill those plot holes, they have transformed the story of Kemono Friends into something even more twisted. And the worst part of everything is that this is still going to continue. Also, I must mention a correction. Ceruleans are actually pronounced Selines. The pronunciation error is due to a confusion of subtitles by Crunchyroll. With this clarified, let's proceed to see what the revelations have been. According to the official information, at the end of the first season on the trip to the sea, 2,000 long years pass until finally the second season occurs. I'm not kidding. At the beginning it was thought that it was an error of translation, and that those 2,000 years had passed between the extinction of the human race and the first season. But little by little more people confirmed that there is really an interval of 2,000 years. And this cabin we know is the same cabin that appear in the season 2. That's mean the cabin has spent 2,000 years watching her friends slowly forget her and fully witnesses humanity's legacy slowly wither away and become part of the wilderness again. Now, to answer the question of why cabin is still as it is in the second season, let's move on to the next point. In order to explain this point, I have to talk a little about the Kemono Friends video game. In the game, about the events in Japari Park when Mirai was still there, the caretaker of the park that we saw in season 1. It happens that in these events of the game, Queen Selines appears, who is actually a Selines who has taken the sparkle of Keiko, one of the main researchers of the Friends. The sparkle is a kind of essence of the characteristics of the objects or living beings that Selines absorb from the things they consume. According to the latest information given, this queen had trapped her child, and Serval and Caracal try to save this child. But Serval and Caracal cannot beat the queen, and the queen ate Serval too. Caracal manages to defeat the Cerulean, but Serval becomes a posteriority type beast. The boy and Serval lost their memories. However, the queen had made an egg. And this pod in season 2 is actually the Cerulean queen's egg. Kaoru will come out of the egg, this being a copy of a human. In short, Cabin is a friend who comes from contact with Sandster, and Kaoru comes entirely from a Cerulean. According to the information, Cabin's growth as a human friend was shown. Season 1 was stage 2, manga was stage 3, season 2 is stage 4. Cabin is a friend, a human friend. Cabin is bound to Japari Park due to her origin. Also, human friends' bodies are unstable. Human friends cease to exist if they reject their growth. How work this? In the case of Kemono Friends, these don't die, they just go back to their animal form and lose their memories. In fact, the Serval in the recordings of Mirai already is third generation of Serval. This process of losing their memories is part of their life cycle. And since they live by following their animal instincts, they do not have that instability as human friends do. But considering that Cabin has lived for 2,000 years, it is impossible for her to maintain that mentality, especially since she does not discover any other human in the world. Little by little, her initial motivation, which was to find humans, will be worn out, until it becomes the base form from which she came, that is, Mirai. That's why Cabin would eventually overwritten into a clone of Mirai, hence the hair color change. By the way, it has been confirmed that Kaoru is a man. Either way, another news could not surprise me, unless Dart. The image that you can see now is the Sandster Tower. And this have big story. It happens that a group of friends thought that the place to be safer would not be any region, but a far place. The space. Such a thought would not be so extreme if it were normal circumstances. It would have to be a big threat from Ceruleans to have to think that only space is safe. It is so that the moment they are escaping in their ship, the great amorphous Cerulean who was trying to eat them, stretches in this way. And so, it remains for a long time, without losing sight of its objective until it finally crystallizes and stops moving, taking a form of necrosis. What happened with that, friends? Did they are still alive? Did they just are in another region? Are in a space station? Or maybe a station in the moon? Either way, there should be another reason why they try to escape to the space. Until far, this is the most interesting of the revelations. In this way, the history of Kemono Friends will continue to expand thanks to these statements. For better or worse. However, these seem like a systematic attempt to remove the characters of the first season, especially Cabin. Kemono Friends is in development, so it is possible that things like this will happen again. For my part, I am again disappointed in how this story has become so twisted and sad. I came here to have fun, not to cry. Thanks for watching the video.